What's up y'all, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be playing with a bunch of new makeup products, including the new Natasha Denona Golden Palette. This was literally just dropped off to me from Sephora and I'm excited to play with it. So I went through my little basket over here of stuff that I haven't played with, grabbed a full face of makeup and thought that we could just kind of do it all together in one fell swoop. Now I will go ahead and timestamp it out down below. That way, if you're only curious about the Natasha Denona collection, you can just go ahead and skip forward to that. No harm, no foul. My feelings won't be hurt. I completely get it. Also, I will make sure that I link and list every single product that we use and discuss down in the description box below. Per usual, if you're ever curious about anything that we discussed in this video, always check down there. I put as much information down there as I possibly can. But let's go ahead and jump into this. We're zoomed in, my face is primed. I did go in with the Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Primer. I've really been enjoying this. It's very blurring, very smoothing, and it seems to kind of hold the makeup in place. So I thought it would be perfect for today because we're gonna be playing with a powder foundation. This is the Natasha Denona High Glam Powder Foundation. When this was first announced, I was kind of reluctant. I was like, I've tried powder foundations in the past. They always seem cakey. They didn't really work well with my skin, but I've seen some really good reviews on this. So I thought I'd go ahead and pick it up for science. I do have the shade RN1. I will pop up some details about this, but before we do that, we're going to do concealer because that is going to be a cream formula. So I'm going to go in with my Refi concealer. I've really been enjoying this. It's lightweight. It is a little bit lighter in coverage. It can be built up to a medium coverage, but it's very flattering under my eyes and I've really been enjoying it, but I don't quite have my full thoughts on it, so I need to test it out just a little bit more. Okay, so my under eyes are done. I did blend out the concealer and I already set it with a loose powder. I went in with this one from La Mer. It is very lightweight, very finely milled. It looks beautiful under the eyes. I didn't want to go in with a powder foundation under my eyes just because I feel like it's going to make them very heavy and kind of emphasize any texture, make them look a little bit cakey, and I wouldn't normally do that with a powder foundation anyway. So let's go ahead and actually move on to the foundation. So this is what the component looks like. It's very pretty, very sleek. I like the way that this looks. It looks very luxe. It feels very luxe, but I did get the shade RN1. I don't know if I already said that. It does come in 36 different shades. It retails for $55, but this is refillable. So when you run out, you can just pop this out. I'm not going to fully pop it out, but you push it up and it pops it out and you just buy the retail or the refill. I will put the price of the refill down below in the description box, but according to the website, this is going to be a matte finish with a hydrating feel, silky and blendable, flexible formula. It's going to be lightweight and comfortable with a natural finish, a wide shade range, and a medium buildable coverage. Now, they're kind of contradicting themselves just a little bit with the whole matte finish and natural finish. So which one is it? We're gonna find out. But like I said, it does have a refill in here. It comes with a mirror, and then underneath here, you do get an applicator, and this actually feels really nice. We're gonna use this today, and then in the future, I'll test it out with a brush and stuff. But I'm just gonna go ahead and put my fingers in this little triangle, and we're gonna test this out. Hopefully this is going to be a good shade match for me. I think it is, but wow, like look at that. That went on really nicely. Okay. I'm not mad about it at all. Like I said, it's been a while since I've used a powder foundation, like as an actual foundation. I've used them before, like if I want some extra coverage over a lightweight foundation, and they seem to work out that way, but on their own, I've always found them to be a little bit cakey and just not really my speed. Okay, so there is one half of my face with the foundation on, the other half without. This is just slightly too light for me, but I think it'll be okay once I get into bronzer and things like that. But I definitely got a medium coverage. It does feel very lightweight. It doesn't look cakey. It doesn't look heavy or anything like that. So I'm excited to see how this is gonna wear throughout the day, if it's gonna break down, if it's really gonna dry my skin out, if it's gonna stick to that hydrating claim or not. But let's go ahead and do the other half of the face with a foundation brush. So I went ahead and pulled this one from Anisa. I actually just bought a bunch of these. This is the Pinnacle foundation brush. So I'm just gonna go in, coat my brush really good, and I'm gonna stipple this on here the same way I did on the other side and that I would if it was a liquid foundation. Okay, so this is the side of face that I applied it with a brush, and I like the way that it went on better with a brush. I feel like it's a little bit more natural. It doesn't look as thick. It doesn't look as like caked on. Now that I'm looking at them side by side, the one with the sponge definitely looks a little bit more on the cakey side. I think if I had done the whole face like that, I wouldn't notice a difference, but I do prefer it better with a brush. So I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of even this out a little bit, see if we can kind of make both sides match, and then we're gonna move on to bronzer because I do have a new to me bronzer to try. It's not new on the market, but it's one that's been on my wish list for a while, and I did have one of you actually recommend it down in the comment section, and I ordered it practically immediately, and it's been sitting over here for weeks, so we're gonna play with that one. So this is the Mini Film Star Bronze and Glow from Charlotte Tilbury. It does have a highlighter in it. We're not going to play with the highlighter because the Natasha Denona Golden Collection does have a highlighter trio, but we're going to play with this bronzer right here. It is lighter. It's a little bit more on the neutral side, so I'm excited to see what it's going to look like on my fair skin. I did, like I said, have one of you say that this would look absolutely beautiful on my fair skin, so we're going to try it out. I'm going to go in with an Anissa buffing bronzer brush. Like I said, I just ordered a bunch of these because I've seen them everywhere and I've really been curious about them, and we're going to test them out. So let's see what this bronzer looks like on my skin. From what I understand, this is not super pigmented, but it's very buildable. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this one half of my face over here, and then we'll see what it looks like. All right, so this is what the bronzer is looking like. It is very lightly pigmented. It is buildable, and I have to say, I'm not mad about it. I like the way that it looks, especially with this powder foundation. I feel like it really brought a lot of color back to my face, especially compared to this side over here. I don't know if you can really see the difference really well on camera just because it is such a subtle difference, but first impression, I like it. I'm impressed, and I'm excited to keep testing this out. If I really like it, I might have to buy the full size of it. So this is what the complexion is looking like. I'm really loving the way it looks. It's very natural, very lightweight. It doesn't look like I have on a powder foundation, and I love that. So first impression so far, so good. I'm really liking the way it looks, but let's go ahead and throw on some blush. So I have two different powder blushes right here that I picked up. I did pick up the Lawless Cream blush, but I want to test that out under a powder before I go in and just put it over a powder. So let's go ahead and check out both of these, do a swatch, see which one we want to use. Up first is the Fenty Hot Cheeks in Fresh Peach. This is a limited edition. They did come out with 3 of these. So there's like a light one, a medium one, and a dark one. And I believe I got the lightest one. So this is what it looks like. Let's go ahead and swatch it out. This is definitely giving like NARS Orgasm vibes a little bit. But that is a really pretty blush. Very pigmented, very sparkly, very shiny. You can definitely see that little bit of gold reflect in it. I don't know if I want to use this if I'm going to do a highlighter over top of it. So let's go ahead and swatch out the one from Kosas. I got the shade Hype, and this is like a really pretty like rosy peachy pink color. So let's swatch this one out. This is a baked blush. Both of these are baked blushes. I love a baked blush, but that's beautiful. I think we're gonna go with that one today, and then we'll reserve the Fenty for another video. Yeah, okay, let me go ahead and grab a blush brush, and then we're gonna pop this on the cheeks. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with a Sigma F43. This is the soft angled cheek brush. It's one of their new ones. So I'm just gonna pick this up on the brush. Very, very pigmented. And we're just gonna kind of tap this on, and then we'll blend it out. That's very pretty. I love that blush. I think it's absolutely beautiful. It has a soft glow to it. The pigmentation was buildable. It wasn't overly pigmented, where I feel like if you go in hard with a brush, you're just gonna get clown makeup immediately, and I love it. I'm here for it. But I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows really quick, prime my eyes, and we're gonna jump into the Natasha Denona Golden Collection. Okay, so my brows are done, my eyes are primed. Let's go ahead and jump into this Natasha Denona Golden Collection, starting with the highlighter trio right here. Now this does retail for $55. It is a Sephora exclusive, so you can't pick it up at Ulta. I don't know if maybe eventually it will come to Ulta, but as of now, you can only get it at Sephora and the Natasha Denona website. I will have both of them linked down below in the description box, but I love the packaging. I think this is beautiful. The gold with like this ripple effect on it. I love it. It feels like her good sturdy plastic packaging that we know and love. And then open it up. I have to be really careful because my middle one did pop out. It's not broken, I just need to glue it back in. But you get a mirror and then you get these 3 highlighter shades. Now these do not look nearly as deep in person as they did in the online swatches. When I was ordering this, I was really worried that both of these were going to be way too dark for my fair skin and I wasn't going to get any use out of them, but I don't think that's the case. But we're going to go ahead and swatch them really quick, see what they look like, and then we're going to try them on my face. So starting with the lightest one, which is the shade Pearl. This is what it looks like on my finger. It's beautiful, it's reflective, it's very smooth and soft. And I'm going to do a swatch, I think right here. This is a good spot. So we're going to swatch that out right there. Oh, that is really pretty. Very beautiful, like light champagne color. So next we have the shade Sunglow. This is a golden color. It's really beautiful. This is the one that actually fell out of my palette, but it's okay. Let's go ahead and swatch it right here. That's really pretty. I like that. I don't usually go too much for like golden and bronzy highlights. They usually tend to be too deep for me, but these might actually be okay sheared out. And then lastly, we have the shade Bronze. This is the deepest one in the palette. And like I said, it's not nearly as deep as it looks, but I still don't know if it's really going to work for my skin tone. I can't see where I'm at. There we go. I couldn't see where I was at to swatch this. But that is what that one looks like swatched out. That is a gorgeous, like true gold color. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. I love all 3 of those, but I'm curious to see what they're gonna look like on my skin. But let's go ahead and try them out. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and start with the darkest one because I'm really curious to see what it's gonna look like. And after yesterday's video with that dark highlighter, nothing scares me anymore. So I'm gonna go in with a Rare Beauty highlighting brush and I'm just gonna lightly go into this pan, pick it up, tap it off, and we're gonna go in right here on my cheekbone. Did I get anything? I think I did. There we go. Yeah, that's not nearly as deep as it looks like it's going to be. It's really, really pretty. It's got a beautiful bronze glow. I think if you went in, if you have fair skin and you went in with like a really, really neutral blush, this would look beautiful over top. But you know what? That looks really pretty. Okay, I like it. All right, let's go ahead and go in with Sun Glow right here. I'm gonna do this one on my other cheek. Be careful not to knock it out of there. I like that. That's really pretty. These are really smooth. They're not like sparkly. They don't have any glitter in them or anything like that. They're just a really pretty smooth highlighter. They're definitely more on the beaming side. They're not quite like just a lit from within. They're a little bit more than that and they're buildable. That one's pretty. All right, let's go ahead and do the shade Pearl. I'm gonna do this one on my nose, down the bridge of my nose, and I'll probably do it like above my my brow as well. Kind of go in all the spots that I normally highlight with. All right, I like the way those look. All 3 shades actually worked on my skin tone. Nothing is giving like a weird stripe. Nothing is too overly pigmented. They all seem to have a pretty translucent base. Obviously, they're not a completely translucent base, but they do sheer out enough that I think they're gonna work on a wide range of skin tones. I would love to see the way that these are gonna wear on a dark skin tone. I feel like this one, Bronze, is gonna look beautiful on deep skin tones. But let's go ahead and play with the gloss. So I did pick up the Golden Glimmer gloss. This is what it looks like. I'm really curious about this one. It does retail for $29. And again, just like everything else in this collection, this is a Sephora exclusive. So you can get it on Natasha Denona and get it on Sephora. But this is what it looks like. We do have a little bit of a different component for Natasha Denona. Let's open it up and see what the doe foot applicator looks like. It is a little hard to get out, but this is the doe foot applicator. So standard doe foot applicator, really nice. I'm gonna go ahead and just pop this on my lips. I'm not gonna line, I'm not gonna put anything else on because I want to see what this looks like on its own. It does have that same smell that the Gucci lip gloss has, which I believe this is a plumping lip gloss. Let me look it up on the Sephora website and give you a little lowdown on this. Okay, so according to Sephora, this is a sheer oil gloss formula that illuminates with golden sparkles, creating a luscious, plumped looking pout with a mirror-like shine. It says it's a lip gloss, lip balm, treatment, and lip plumper. It's going to be hydrating, long wearing, and plumping. So that's probably where that smell is coming from. I'm hoping it goes away. The one from the Gucci does eventually go away, but I cannot stand that smell. So let's try this on, see if it's gonna give like a strong tingle, if it's gonna be painful, if the smell is gonna go away, all of that. That is really beautiful on its own. I love the way that it looks. It definitely adds just a little bit of color to the lips, like my lips, but better with that gold reflect to it. It's very comfortable, very hydrating. I can still smell that smell, but it's not nearly as strong as the Gucci one is whenever I put that one on. That one lingers for about like 5 to 10 minutes, and this one seems like it's already going away. I don't feel any plumping yet, but we're gonna see what it does while we sit and we do the eyes. So let's go ahead and move on to the eyeshadow palette. This is the Natasha Denona Golden Midi palette. This does retail for $69, and like everything else in the collection, it's a Sephora exclusive, but we have the same golden packaging that we have for the highlighter trio, and as you can tell, it's already dirty with fingerprints, so it's not gonna stay clean for long, but you know, it is what it is. I don't mind a palette to look dirty and used. I know some people do. You can always clean it off, but this is a 15 pan palette. It does have the little holes on the back so you can pop the shades out, move them around, interchange them with other palettes of hers, things like that. But when we open it up, this is our color story right here. We do have the mirror in here. This is her same plastic packaging that she has for all of them. Now, this palette does draw inspiration from the original gold palette. I never picked up that palette when it was out, available, popular. I wanted it so bad, but it just wasn't in my budget at the time, so I never got to pick it up. Now, I do know that 9 of the shades in this palette are repeats from that golden palette, and then 6 of them are brand new shades. So I'm not exactly sure which ones are. I know she has it listed on her Instagram, so you could absolutely go on there and check it out. But if you have the original gold palette, do I think that you need this one? Probably not, unless you absolutely love Natasha Denona, you're a collector of her palettes, things like that. I think you could probably skip on this one, but if you were someone like me who lusted after that palette for so long, which is odd because it's just a neutral palette, but it's such a perfect, beautiful neutral palette, then yeah, you could definitely pick this up, and I think it would be a perfect addition to your collection. But let me give you a close-up view of the color story right here. I'm going to throw in some swatches, and then we're going to create a look with this palette. All right, let's go ahead and create our look. I'm excited about this. I know it's just a neutral palette, but deep down inside, I do really love a neutral look. I think they can be very sophisticated, very beautiful, and I love the Natasha Denona formula, so I'm excited about it. I know not everybody is, but I am. But I'm gonna go ahead and start with this shade down here. This one is called Flesh, and I'm just gonna kind of use that as a transition shade, just kind of start building up a little bit of something in my crease. I'm gonna go in with a rougher 16 brush and just start fluffing that on my lid. So next I'm going to go in with this shade right here. It's called Teak, and for that I'm going to go in with a rougher 27 brush. I'm going to build up a little bit more depth and definition into my crease and start to build up that outer corner just a little bit. Now, for those of you who are curious about side-by-side comparisons to the gold palette or other palettes that might be very similar to this, Angela Bright has a video up on her channel swatching out this palette and swatching it next to the golden palette. I think she even does comparisons with the Urban Decay Naked Honey palette, and I think she compares it to I Need a Nude even. So I will link her channel down below, maybe even that video. So if you want to check that out, you absolutely can. I will say that there weren't really any comparisons to the Naked Honey palette. That one ran very, very yellow. It didn't really stack up to this one, but when she swatched it out next to the golden palette, it almost seemed like the original gold palette was a little richer and a little, I don't want to say prettier because they're both beautiful, but while the colors that were the same from that palette were very, very close, there were some slight differences, but I still don't think it's anything that would, you know, make you need to run out and pick up this one. Like I said, unless you're into Natasha Denona or maybe you just want to update the formula, things like that. But I'm excited about this one, and that is a absolutely beautiful color. I love it. I'm gonna take that same shade with that same brush and just kind of come right along my lower lash line, just fluffing it out, adding a little bit of depth. I'm not going in super precise or anything like that. All right, let's build up this outer corner just a little bit more. I'm gonna go in with this shade right here called Log, and I'm just gonna pick that up with a Rephr 14 brush, and I'm just gonna put that into my outer corner, like I said, building up a little bit of depth and definition. Yeah, I love that. Beautiful. I'm gonna add just a little bit of this on the outer portion of my lower lash line too, just to keep it cohesive and keep a little bit of that drama out here. That is so pretty. Say what you will about a neutral eyeshadow palette. I love color, we all know I do, but there's something about a neutral eye look that is just, it's classic, it's beautiful, it's sexy, and I love it. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to some shimmer. I want to throw a couple of these on the lid, see what they do. So I'm going to go ahead and prime my eye with my NYX glitter primer really quick, and we're going to play with a couple different shades. All right, y'all, so we have options for shimmer on the lid. I think, do I want to do like a true gold? I think I want to do a true gold on the lid. So I'm going to go in with this one right here called Oro, and I'm going to pop this all over my lid, and then I might go in with a deeper one on the outer corner. But this is what that shade looks like. It is a true gold shimmer. I'm excited about this. Oh, look how pretty that is. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. This one is called Varus, and I'm just gonna pop this right out here where that gold and my outer corner meet, just to give it a little bit of blend. You already know the drill. If you've been here at all on my channel, you know that I like to do this. That way I don't have a harsh line. And then we'll do the inner corner. Okay, so for the inner corner, I want to go in with this shade up here. This one is called Fizzy. It looks so reflective and just shimmery, and I'm excited to play with it. So I'm going to pick it up with my pinky, and I'm going to pop it right here on my inner corner. Yeah, that's beautiful. And then I'm going to go ahead and do liner mascara, and I will come back and show you the completed look with this palette. So this is what the eye look looks like with everything except for my mascara. I like to go in and set my face before I do that, and I have a new one to test out. So we're gonna try it together. This is the new Urban Decay All Nighter Hyaluronic Acid plus Watermelon Fruit Extract Long Lasting Makeup Setting Spray. That's a mouthful. These brands really need to scale it back, but this does retail for $36. And as far as claims go, it has a dewy finish for a luminous glow, instant all day hydration, skin's gonna look bouncy and feel plump. It's a waterproof formula. It's gonna lock makeup in place for up to 16 hours. It's smudge, sweat, and transfer resistant. It's going to prevent makeup from cracking, fading, or flaking. It boosts makeup vibrancy. Micro Mist gives a smooth, even application. It's going to work well with all skin types, including dry and sensitive skin. It's dermatologist tested, allergy tested, and as always, cruelty free. So it's got a lot of hefty claims for it, but it's right up my alley. I do really love the Urban Decay All Nighter line, so I'm really excited about this one. So let's go ahead and test this out. I did already kind of prime the pump a little bit, but I want to show you it does have a really fine mist to it. I can definitely smell that watermelon, but it does go away. It doesn't linger. So like once it's on my face, I can't smell it anymore. Like right now I cannot smell it, but it is a very faint watermelon smell, but I love it. I'm excited to test it out. I will definitely try this with some of my Holy Grail foundations, things like that, products that I already know how they wear, and test out the longevity on this. I'm really excited about the waterproof, sweat-proof claim and all of that, because down here in Houston, Texas, it gets unbelievably hot, muggy, humid, just gross. Like yesterday, it was 88 degrees outside, and according to the weather app, it felt like 104, and it absolutely did. It was disgusting outside. It was one of those days where you sweat just walking from your house to your car. So I'm excited about this. We'll continue to test this, but I'm gonna go ahead and throw on my mascara real quick, and then we will chat about all these products. So this is the completed look, and I absolutely love the way that my skin is looking. I love my makeup. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I'm really happy with the way everything went on. I'm happy with the way that it turned out, but let's kind of chat about these products real quick, kind of go through them really quick, give you my first initial impression thoughts, and we'll close out this video. But starting with the Natasha Denona Powder Foundation, I think this looks absolutely beautiful on the skin. It's very natural, very lightweight. It does not look like I have on a powder foundation at all. I always expect powder foundations to look very cakey, very heavy, because that's my experience with them. And this one is not. It definitely built up a little bit more coverage where I wanted it to, but it is a medium coverage foundation. So I'm excited to keep testing this out, see how it wears, especially in the heat. But so far so good. I'm really enjoying that one. The Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow, I think this is beautiful. This is definitely very lightly pigmented. It's lighter than what I'm used to, but it looks very natural on the skin. And once I got everything else on, I think it looks beautiful. It added just enough warmth back to my skin to give it a little bit of life without looking too orange, too bronze, or, you know, just kind of overdoing it. So far I'm really enjoying it. I'm excited to try the highlighter in here. I haven't heard too many people talk about the highlighter in here, so we'll keep testing that out, see what that's about. The Xoxo blush, I think it's beautiful. I'm really excited about these. I'm excited to see how long the formula lasts, because everything that I've heard about Kosas, they go bad really, really fast because there's no preservatives in here. It's a clean beauty brand, and I could really care less about that. For me, it's more about being cruelty-free than it is about being clean, because I like my makeup to last. If I'm gonna spend my money on it, I want it to last. I don't want it to go bad in 6 months. So we'll see how it lasts. We'll see how the pigmentation lasts, but first impression, I really like it. I do love a baked blush, and I think the color in here is beautiful. I like the little compact. It's cute. It goes right along with the Kosas brand. And speaking of Kosas, I did try the Air Brow Clear Lift Treatment Gel as well, and it looks good on my brows. I mean, I don't really have a whole lot that I need to hold in place because I don't have a whole lot of hairs, but I do have a few that are kind of stragglers and can kind of go wonky. So we'll see how it holds. It does feel like it has a good hold. They don't feel like crunchy, like they're glued in place, but they don't feel super flexible either. So we'll keep testing that out as well. I believe that brings us to the Natasha Denona Golden Collection. I think this is a beautiful collection. If you're into these colors, if you're into these tones, I think they're beautiful. The packaging is very dirty. You can see I've got fingerprints on it. I've even got some of the setting spray on here that I tried to wipe off and it didn't work, but I think this is a beautiful collection. The highlighter trio, all three colors worked beautifully for my skin, and like I said, I was very worried that they weren't going to, but I do really enjoy the Natasha Denona highlighter formula. I enjoy her blush formula. I enjoy most products from Natasha Denona. There's very few that are a miss for me, and I think this is a beautiful one. I think it's going to work well for all skin tones, and I really enjoy it. I like it. I think the packaging is beautiful. I'm excited about that one. The gloss, this is beautiful. It does have like a slight little something going on, but it didn't hurt. It went away, but my lips do look very hydrated, very plump, very beautiful. I like this on its own. I'm excited to use it over other lip products as well. And then as far as the eyeshadow palette goes, I love it. It's beautiful. If this is your color story, if this is your speed, if this is what you're looking for, if you're like me and you missed out on the original gold palette, this is a perfect replacement for this. These are my kind of neutral colors. When it comes to a neutral eyeshadow look, this is what I love. I do love a cool tone neutral. I do love a warm tone neutral, but there's something about the tones in this palette mixed with the golds that are just my perfect speed. It's almost like being colorful neutral, if that makes any sense, and I love it. The formulas in here is beautiful. It's exactly what I expected. I didn't have any issues, any patching, any skipping. The shades that I did use, I didn't have any kick up in the pan. Obviously I did not use every single shade in here, but I am very familiar with the Natasha Denona formula, and I feel like this really holds up to it. So I'm excited about this one. I think this is a fantastic release from her, and this might be I don't think it's my favorite. I think the Yucca palette is still my absolute favorite, but I think this might be number 2. I like this one more than I Need a Nude, so I'm excited about that. And lastly, we have the setting spray. First impression, it's nice. I like it. My skin looks very hydrated. It looks dewy. It didn't disrupt anything. It didn't move anything around. It does have a very fine mist, but this is one of those that only time will tell. So first impression, I like it. I'm excited to keep trying it and see how it wears, but that's going to complete this video. So I want to hear from y'all. I want to hear all your thoughts down below. Have you picked up any of these? Are you a Natasha Denona fan? Is this your color story? Let me know all of your thoughts. Let's have that conversation. Light up that comment section. And as usual, I want to thank you all so much for watching my video and spending your time with me. It really does mean so much to me. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up before you leave. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on that notification bell so that you can be notified of all my future posts here on my channel. I do post quite a few videos every single week and I wouldn't want you to miss one. But until my next video, have a good one. Bye.